t-shirt, hair in a bun. It's gonna be an intense video. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and today I have a book haul. So I don't do book hauls very often just because I don't buy books that often. When I do, it's ones that I'm really looking forward to, I really want, and things like that. But recently it was Christmas and I got money for Christmas because I guess I'm just kind of hard to shop for. Really the only thing I asked for this year was an air fryer. I got that and it's the best thing I've ever gotten ever. That being said, I used pretty much all the Christmas money on books because as you can see, and from my last video, I have a new bookshelf and gotta fill it up, you know? This is a lame excuse for a book haul, but we're rolling with it anyway. So some of these books I actually got as gifts from family members, and then the rest I purchased with the gift of cash. So we better get crack-a-lackin' because we're gonna be here for years. So the first couple of books I want to talk about are like non-fiction-esque. Yeah, they're non-fiction, I don't know why I said esque. Books that people gifted me, and the first one is actually a cookbook. This is the Half Baked Harvest Super Simple Recipe Book. I've been cooking from this thing nonstop. I absolutely love these recipes. They're always so good, so delicious. Highly recommend if you have not checked this lady out. Super easy, super delicious. Okay, so the next one that I got is the Emotion Thesaurus. And this is a writing help book to kind of like help you to describe different ways of showing emotion in your book. And I am working on a writing project. I mentioned it in my last journaling video, my 2021 setup goals thing. That one of my goals is to finish my rough draft of my writing project, and this I think is going to help, mainly not in the rough draft process, but definitely in the editing process, because it shows you like physical signals, internal sensations, mental responses, cues, may escalate, and all that stuff for different emotions, good, bad, all the great things, and how to write them down. And I'm like, this is the best thing ever. So I got this. Don't remember where I heard of this from. I'll have everything written or hopefully linked if I'm not feeling too lazy down below. The next couple books actually came from my aunt, and these were totally unexpected. These are kind of like, I wouldn't say heirlooms, maybe they are, I don't know. They've been in my family for a very long time and she passed them down to me. So the first one is 101 Famous Poems. This is falling apart because this is from 1920s when my great-great-grandmother first purchased it, and it has been passed down to me from her. So this is really special. I absolutely love this. This is something I'm gonna treasure forever, and I hope to one day pass to my daughter and we can just, you know, keep the momentum going. This has poems from like Edgar Allan Poe, the Bronte sisters, like all of those famous people. I am too scared to read this because it's falling apart. And I do want to maybe try and see about getting it rebound so that it lasts a little longer and there's no risk of it falling apart. So this is really special. It has like my grandmother's handwriting in it. It even has like advertisements on the back for pianos, which is super random and cool all at the same time. So yes, this is very special. It is staying in a box on top of my shelves, far away from the almost 4-year-old. The next vintage like heirloom-esque book that my aunt gave me is this one called At the Back of the North Wind by George MacDonald. I've never heard of this. And this is a children's book from, you know, way back when. And it's my aunt's favorite book. She said it was her favorite book as a kid and she wanted me to have it and to read it. It's illustrated, it's very long. I definitely want to read it because it is my aunt's favorite childhood book. It was gifted to me for that reason, so I do hope to read it sometime soon. I might see if I can find a copy at like the library because I'm kind of scared to read this one because it is so old and it's so very special. So yeah, this was purchased by my grandparents for my aunt, and she gave it to me. So this is very special, and I really hope I enjoy it, and I hear it's really sad, which is like slightly concerning, so we shall see. And lastly, the one that was gifted to me on Christmas is The Lies of Lamora by Scott Lynch. This is an epic fantasy. I think it's like 3 or 4 books long, I could be wrong. I've heard really good things about this series, and I don't really know anything about it. The back here says, they say that the Thorn of Kaymor can beat anyone in a fight. They say he steals from the rich and gives to the poor. They say he's part man, part myth, and mostly street corner rumor. And they are wrong on every count. This sounds fantastic. This is like the anniversary edition, I think, so it's all right on the cover. It looks a little weathered. It's super, super pretty, and I'm so excited to read this and that I have this in my collection. So now we're on to the books that I purchased with gift money, so here we go. The first thing that I got was this anniversary edition set of Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Obviously, I have copies back there, but I don't like those covers. I really liked these covers, so I decided to purchase them. However, I'm not getting rid of those because they are signed. I can't remember the artist who did the covers as of right now, but I will look it up and put it in the description below. But the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series is like iconic, classic, and I have yet to finish it. So as you can see, I'm currently reading the first one again, but these are absolutely stunning. The best way to explain these books is kind of the tagline that's used, which is, an angel and a demon fell in love, it did not end well. And literally that's all you need to know, because literally everything else kind of spoils it. So in this set we have The Daughter of Smoke and Bone, Days of Blood and Starlight, and Dreams of Gods and Monsters. I just love how these look, this like neon-esque vibe going on. They're just so pretty. So yeah, I'm absolutely obsessed with these. I want these tattooed on my face. Bit extreme, but it's true. So the next one I got from Target, and that is Fable by Adrienne Young. Obviously. So from what I can gather from the description, this is a pirate book, which is the main reason I bought it, because I'm still hoping to find a good pirate book. And she has like secret skills. She joined some traders and all that good stuff, and it says trader, fighter, survivor on the front. So again, I don't know anything about this, and this cover is stunning. And yeah, I'm really excited to pick this up and read it. I've heard pretty good things. I haven't heard much, but I've heard okay things about it, and I'm hoping that I am on that it's pretty darn good list. Next up we have Banished by Michael Wiseheart. This is like an Amazon published indie author that I stumbled across while looking for books to purchase. From the description alone, I was sold. Not a huge fan of the cover, but pretty cool. Basically, it's about a mercenary or an assassin who doesn't like to kill people, but he wants to become the youngest warrior in his clan. But unfortunately, he has a big secret that he has to keep hidden, which is that he has magic. And just sounds really intriguing. It sounds like it could be really funny, maybe, you know, a little mysterious. I don't know. And this is going towards the goal of trying to read more indie authors. So this is what I did. This is what I purchased. I'm very excited to read it. Next up, I have The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, another pirate book. I'm assuming, because it says ships in the title, and from the description, it sounds like pirates. Basically, there is fleets of ships that are made from the bones of ancient dragons, but when another dragon appears, the first in like centuries, there is like this race to get to it to make another powerful ship or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. The back is very short, very vague, so yeah, I'm really looking forward to this actually. Like, this might be being read soon. Next up, I have Ruthless Gods by Emily A. Duncan. This is the sequel to Wicked Saints that I read last year, and I had to get the next one because I really did enjoy it, and I definitely want to know where it goes from here and continue on with the series. The first book follows a girl who has this power to communicate with the gods through these beads, and they grant her power when she asks. And they're kind of at war against people who have blood magic, which is just something that's in them and that not from the gods, and it's kind of frowned upon. People just hate each other. So this is the sequel, and where the first one ended off was pretty intense, so I'm intrigued to see where this goes. I did listen to the audiobook of the first book, but I didn't like it that much because the readers made the characters sound really old. So I think I'm going to physically read it this time and hopefully really enjoy it, because the third book I think comes out this year, so hyped. Next one I'm really stoked about because I just got this yesterday. I was scared this was not going to come because the shipping here in the US has just been a hot mess, and I was worried it was lost, but it showed up and I'm thrilled. And that is Heart of Flames by Nickie Preto. I literally just finished Crown of Feathers and it was incredible, and I had to get the Owl Crate exclusive edition to match that exclusive edition, and look at those edges. Yes. I am so excited to read this. This is actually, like, I'm going to start this later today. I am so excited. The first book was phenomenal. Not enough people are talking about it. It's so good. The first book, Crown of Feathers, is about two sisters who both want to become phoenix writers, but they kind of butt heads a lot because one of them's a jerk. And Veronica goes off by herself to become a phoenix writer, but they only take boys, so she has to disguise herself as a boy in order to attempt to become a phoenix writer. It's so good. It was not at all what I was expecting. It was just... So of course I had to get the sequel, and I'm so glad I got the exclusive edition. Hopefully they make the third book exclusive as well, because I don't really care about matching covers all that much, but these I do, because they're gorgeous. We have Kingdom of the Wicked by Kari Maniscalco. This is the first, I think, in a series. They're witches, and they use dark magic, and it's bad. It's bad time. And they meet Wrath, who is one of the princes of hell, and they have to solve a murder. Again, really bad at these descriptions, but I am really excited to read this. I've heard so many good things about this, and I think it'll be fun. Looks like a pretty quick read, so that is always a plus as well. Next up, I have Dune by Frank Herbert. This is like a classic sci-fi book that everyone and their mom has read, except me. So I'm not a huge sci-fi fan, but my husband recently read it and said that I should read it, and the new movie's coming out in October, so I decided to pick it up, and I'm hoping to read it pretty soon. This edition's really floppy too, which is always a plus. It's set in a world called Dune. There's fighting. Again, bad at this. But I am really excited to read this. I hope it's good. I hope I enjoy it. I know it's older, so it might be a little hard for me to get through, but I'm hopeful. The next one I got is Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Again, heard a lot of good things, so I picked this up. From what I kind of vaguely know is that it's about a girl who has to ferry this dangerous person, or so she thinks, across some ocean. There's war with the gods. I'm intrigued by this. Like, I've heard a lot of good things. I think it's going to be really interesting and unique. There you have it. Next we have A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I am really excited to read this one. It's super short. My best friend really enjoyed it, and so I bought it. This is about a school. It's not like your typical school setting because there's no teachers, there's no classes, but there is like monsters and demons like running through the halls, and the students have to survive. That is the goal of this school. I am really intrigued by this premise. It kind of sounds like it's turning the magical school trope on its head, and I think it could be really interesting and unique as well. I've never read a Naomi Novik book, so this will be my first step into her novels. Now we have Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. I have heard a lot of mixed things about this. Some people really love it, some people really hate it. And I am wondering where I fall on that scale. This has literally the shortest description ever. It literally says, a world caught in an eternal war, one young man will become his people's only hope for survival. Apparently this started off as a self-published work, so that's kind of exciting, and I really hope that it's fantastic. And I like dragons, I like fantasy, obviously, so I'm really excited to read this. And it's really long too, so I'm also like terrified because it's so long, which I've read longer, so it's really not that big of a deal. But every time I see a big book, I'm just like, oh boy, how long will this take me? Alright, next we have Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. I've heard lots of really good things about this from some of my favorite YouTubers, as well as my friend, and I of course had to finally pick it up. I've been meaning to for a while to get this or read it at some point, borrow it, buy it, and I just happened to buy it. I'm really excited to read this. I find the back description incredibly confusing. I know there's like coding magic, there's thievery, talking inanimate objects, I think. So that's where I'm going to leave you with that, because I also have no clue. But I'm excited nonetheless. And I believe that the sequel's out now, and I think the third book comes out eventually. That was descriptive. Next we have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. This is a Chinese-inspired fantasy focusing around war and the realities of it and the brutality and how our main character kind of just tries to survive. I know so many people really love this book. I've been a little intimidated because I've heard that it's very dark and really intense, and sometimes that can be a lot. So I've kind of like debated back and forth whether to buy it and read it, and I've done just that. So obviously the buying and reading side has won. But I am intrigued. I haven't read a whole lot of Asian-inspired fantasies, which is something I want to change, so I think this will be really, really interesting. And finally, we have The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I am so excited to read this one. This sounds incredible. Again, with the originally not planning on picking this up, but I've heard so many good things, and so many people describe it better than I think the synopsis does, like about a girl who is like a thief but ends up waking a djinn and gets taken away to a different magical world, and sounds really interesting. The series is done, so I can binge it if I so desire. So yeah, I have this now, and it is stunning. So I'm not even gonna attempt to pick all these up because that would be a disaster for me and the books and you viewers. So that is my ginormous holiday book haul, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I, again, don't buy books that often, so this is like really weird for me. So, and I feel very lucky and very blessed to have them. So let me know down below what book you got for the holidays, Christmas, whatever holiday you celebrate. And make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you want, and subscribe because I come out with content pretty frequently. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye-bye!